All right, here we go. It is episode 66 of Twitchy Tuesday, and today we are looking at the Gemini New Moon. That is going to be our chart chronicles. Mercury in Gemini, Mars in Taurus, as well as getting a glimpse of the cosmic energies that are coming up in June. Get ready to embark on a journey of new beginnings and fresh perspectives as we go through cleaning out the broom closet, heading over to our Zodiac Spotlight, our Chart Chronicles series, and as always, ending with the Twitchy tip of the week. So, getting straight into cleaning out the broom closet today. For those that are new to my channel, welcome. For those that have been here before, thank you so much for joining me. Oh, look at this already popping out. We have the Nine of Swords. Um, the Nine of Swords, I was actually going to just literally right now take a moment to pause, and I am recording this on Memorial Day in the United States. So for those of you that are in the United States, and no matter where you are joining us in the world, if your ancestors and you personally have lost anyone or in your lineage that have died serving the country that you are from or the country that they were from, just taking a moment of silence and of peace to honor those ancestors, honor their ultimate sacrifice. All right, so let's start out with cleaning out the broom closet. You can see this week, I mean, look at it. There's some pretty buff energy over here. It's not going to be a quiet week, that's for sure, especially at the end there on 6/3 with Mercury getting into Gemini. So starting out on 5/28, Mars in Aries will square Sirius retrograde in Capricorn at 21 degrees, 2 arc minutes. 5/29, Vesta in Cancer opposes Sirius retrograde in Capricorn, 20 degrees, 56 arc minutes. Mercury will then come in and trine Sirius, 20 degrees, 56 arc minutes, so same degree point. Then we'll sextile Vesta at that 21 degree mark. And then that will accumulate, the day will accumulate with Mars conjunct Chiron in Aries at 22 degrees, 10 arc minutes, which is part of our series of fortunate events. Here is Mars back in his kingdom, back after a long campaign away, 2 years away. And here he is meeting up with Chiron, one of the dignitaries that is there. And what I find really interesting about the day that this is placed on is you have Vesta and Sirius, two of our goddess asteroids, the hearth and home, wisdom, um, being able to strategically look at things and get obviously giving that higher sense of wisdom, meeting with Mercury. And as this conjunction happens, because we know Mercury kind of led the charge outside of the sun and the moon in the start of our series of fortunate events way back in Aries season. So here Mercury now is meeting up with outside of, or no, in a trine and a sextile. So in these very warm, very comforting, very beneficial aspects to help him relay the information that Mars might need as he conjuncts Chiron in Aries, helping him to be able to see, and speak to kind of those finer points, the points that allow, like, look for the long term, looking for the things that are going to support a better structure in your family, in your home, in your kingdom. So I find that really interesting. And I love that these placements are there because, look, Mars conjunct Chiron and Aries, that might be bringing up a lot of things needing some like balming fluid on it, right? Um needing like just some cooling, needing some warmth and some love, whatever it is, whatever healing energies you're working on. I thought they were going to pop out some cards with this. Nope, they are not. All right, moving on to 5:30, we have an entire day to integrate that energy. Then on 5:31, here it comes, King of Wands. Mercury conjunct Uranus in Taurus, 24 degrees, 8 arc minutes. Hello. The sun in Gemini will square Juno in Virgo, 10 degrees, 28 arc minutes. And then Mercury, as soon as he is done with his conjunction with Uranus, will oppose Pallas Athene retrograde in Scorpio, 25 degrees, 30 arc minutes. Mercury conjunct Uranus in Taurus. Look, Uranus has got some things to say, got some things to understand. There's things that need to be. So look at this card. Look at this King of Wands card. This is a king that's sitting on his throne facing out to his subjects, right? He is here. It's kind of, I'm getting those images of when in the movies you would see the king in the great hall and all of the subjects are like in line waiting to either gift him or ask for favor or bring forth their grievances or ideas or anything like that. This is the energy that I get from this card is be prepared on 531 to be sitting up here and having to listen, having to think, having to interpret, having to understand all of the information that's coming to you. What do you need to say thank you? Let them move on. What do you need to actually inquire a little bit more about? What are the things that you need to, again, accept gifts that are coming in. Bless, again, a lot of times this was like people coming with brand new babies to have the king bless their child. Embark blessings onto others. So 531, definitely something to keep in mind. Then on 6-1, Venus in Gemini will square Juno in Virgo, 10 degrees, 41 arc minutes. Vesta in Cancer will square Chiron in Aries at 22 degrees, 17 arc minutes. On 6-2, Jupiter in Gemini, here he comes trining Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, 1 degree, 53 arc minutes. And man, oh man, he is just helping Pluto, whatever Pluto's MO is right now in Aquarius, whatever Pluto's MO is as he's retrograding, knowing he's going back to that 29-degree mark of Capricorn, 3 of Pentacles, to place his final stake in the ground to, um, he's standing. So in this card, oh, this is a cup here too. This is a card of Pentacles, though, obviously. So in this card, you can tell that we're just going to call it Michelangelo, right? It's the person that was commissioned to build the church, build the structure, build the Holy Trinity, the place of worship, whatever that is. And he's standing on kind of this seat or bench, and 2 people look on. This very much to me looks like the 2 people that are the commissioners. They're the ones that are responsible for ensuring that this gets completed on time, and that it's done to the specifications. They've got their blueprints right here. And here's the creative energy and the force, Jupiter being like, yeah, we're totally on time. Look at all I've done so far. Look at all the things that we've done so far. Wait, you want something else added here? I can do that. No problem. Wow. I can do whatever you need me to do, Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, about ready to head back to Capricorn. I can give you whatever energy you need in order to expand, finish, with the 3, it's that beginning of foundation. There's enough to be solid. It's not the 4 corners, but it is enough to be very solid, very it can bring money in, and that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing this ability to look at things in a new way as Pluto gets back into Capricorn. Pluto and Capricorn very, very much worked a lot with our financial systems, the governance systems, and maybe it's time to capitalize on that. Maybe it's time, maybe what they're actually doing here is this is a finished product. They're looking at the specs and making sure, okay, is the final inspection done? Can we sign off on that? And then begin to bring in the public to view it, begin to bring in and be able to make money. Capricorn, be able to showcase what this individual that was commissioned to do this, that he's hit it, right? He's hit the top. He's been able to accomplish. Um He's done all of the Capricorny, Saturny things that he needs to do to make this a raging success, to make him a raging success so that way he can go forth and get other commissions. All right. Last up, we round out the week. Mercury, as after he sextiles Neptune in Pisces, will head straight into Gemini and man, just add a whole other dimension and dynamic to the already budding Gemini clusters that are going on. And at that same day, the sun in Gemini will sextile the North Node in Aries at 13 degrees, 59 arc minutes. Oh, oh, the lovers. Look at Venus and Mercury just heading into Gemini together. Just given all of the energy, all of the energy, all of the love, all of the unity, all of the unification, all of the higher perspective and understandings. I mean, this makes my heart feel free. It gives me that energy that anything is possible. Anything is possible. Now, we're going to head right now over to the Zodiac Spotlight where we're going to talk about Mercury and Gemini. Oh, what is happening? Look at this. This is okay. Apparently, this is what it wanted to be. Mercury conjunct Uranus is absolutely on the mind. I definitely fixed this, FYI. And I checked all of this out. So Mercury's doing his thing here. He's like, no, 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 no. Before I get into Gemini, we really need to talk about this conjunction in Uranus, with Uranus, excuse me. All right. Well, we're going to leave it the way that it is. This is the Zodiac Spotlight. We are going to be talking about Mercury and Gemini. We'll definitely talk more in the Twitchy tip of the week about this conjunction, what that looks like, what that means. All right. So Mercury and Gemini. Mercury drops in 6-3, stays until 6-17, and Mercury's home. I mean, 6-3 to 6-17 is not a lot of space or time. But that's the great thing about Mercury and Gemini is there is this ability to create very quickly. There is an ability to think forward, very like thinking through all the steps in a very judicious, very expedient manner. And there's a high level of then intellectualism as Mercury gets in here. He's very keen, he's very alert. He knows that there's only so many days that he is going to be transversing this his sign, the love for this sign that he has. It is quick. So just as fast as Mercury is moving, that is as fast as we can be expected to move in our intellectual spaces. Or and again, the intellectual spaces being where Gemini resides and where or what houses in your natal chart Gemini resides. So he has massive company here as well. I got 4 cards out. I haven't looked at them yet. Ace of Wands. He has massive company as he gets into Gemini. He's got the sun. The moon will be there. Venus is there. And Jupiter is right there waiting for him. So this is massive coming in and just immediate spark of go, 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 go. And it all starts. I love that actually, all nothing happens by circumstance. Or I'm just look, this Mercury, I'm recording this with Mercury and Taurus right now. Obvious. I'm having a lot of trouble with my words. All right, this Mercury conjunct Uranus. Also, Mercury got something here. Mercury got a pivot. Mercury got a need to adapt and mold. Mercury got a shock to his system that is now, as he gets into Gemini, is just here grabbing this wand by the horn. Whatever this wand was between Mercury conjunct Uranus, he comes in and Jupiter expands it and Mercury takes it and flies. This is all about the movement forward. Lovers legitimately came back out. So, Mercury in Gemini can be very fun loving. There's a lot that's going on up here. And sometimes when you've got a lot of information or you've got a lot of tabs open, a lot of thought processes, a lot of things that happen in the mind, it is sometimes very challenging to quiet that mind. And even people that, maybe don't have prominent, like, Gemini energy in their chart, this can come in and be like, whoa, my mind is just running, running, running. Well, one of the great ways to help that to kind of settle is being fun loving, being silly, laughing. Like, it's, yes, we have all of this knowledge. Yes, I have all of these ideas, but you know what? There's also space and time, even though it's quick, even though it's, we've got to get in, we've got to get moving. There's still time to be free spirited. There's still time to have fun. There's still time to enjoy with the people that I am with. So there is this aspect here, especially with Jupiter and Venus, it's and Venus's energy here and what she's able to provide, to just let loose, right? Let loose is a great way with all of the energy to settle in on the mind. Because here is the Four of Swords. Again, these are down. I have not looked at these cards yet. We're pulling these as we're talking. And with all of the energy here, with Mercury's transit here, it is important to acknowledge how much thinking that can occur during this very short transit. It can be incredibly restless. It can be overworking, overthinking. It can be like a hamster wheel and, like the thinking about the in a car, oh man, what am I trying to say here? The belt, the belt just going, 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 pushing it to its max, and then it starts to smoke and the belt breaks. So this is very much what you can expect here, is this need to have some quiet time, need to sit with yourself, need to have some of that fun. Additionally, let's see what this is, the Magician. Watch jumping to conclusions. Watch, watch. So the Magician is all about alchemizing and using, let's just go with scientific method to create something, correct? Or manifest something. So watch jumping forward through all the steps, or coming up with your theory, if this is from a science perspective, before you've actually gone through all of the tests and all of the steps necessary to make a final conclusion. This is coming back for me with this Mercury junct Uranus on here, is in the middle of that pivot, in the middle of the need to adapt and mold. You have to understand that you are the alchemist, you're the magician, you're the one in control of how this all plays out for you. Now, you can be so far ahead with Mercury and Gemini, your brain's already, I've come up with my hypothesis. I've already done 12 experiments in my head, not actually, and I already kind of know how this is going to work. That need to go down that path needs to be tempered, needs to be adapted and molded, needs to be regulated, because you don't know what Mercury conjunct Uranus is going to give you. That's kind of the surprise of Uranus, right? You don't know what this is. You don't know what this wand is. You have no idea what this gift is yet, how it can be used for you, how it can be harmonized for you, how it can be thought about, and how it can be healing, how it can be um the next stage, things that are at rest, things that need to remain at rest, things that are changing in your up here in your ether, and then in your physical realm as well. And so here with the Magician is, again, that need to hold on, go through the process, go, stop skipping the integration period. Stop skipping the integration period. Don't be so far ahead of the actual thing that you're ignoring what is right in front of you. You're ignoring the data that is coming back to you. You're ignoring the signs, the intuition, all of those things you're just ignoring because you're so much up here and you're so far ahead in your brain. It's that balance of both. It's that balance of being able to take your brain down that path, being able to visualize into the future, but also being able to live in the now and go, okay, if that's the future that I want, what things do I need to do today to ensure that that future occurs? All right. They were saying to leave these cards out. Okie dokie. We are going to head now to Mercury in Taurus, which is going to occur on 6/8. So as Mercury gets into Gemini, Mars will get into Taurus. And that is actually, yes, we've got Uranus there, so I get it. But Mars and Taurus can definitely help this Mercury and Gemini energy bring down. That's probably why they wanted the cards still to remain. But let's talk about Mars and Taurus. So, first off, Mars is in his detriment in Taurus. As a traditional ruler of Scorpio, that means he is the farthest from the sign that he rules. So, Mars, Mars and Taurus is always very interesting because you have to look at what's just occurred. Mars was just transiting the sign Aries, where he is like in his fullest and best expression of power. This is where he thrives. This is where he's energetic. And now he comes in and fucking how. Now he comes into Taurus with this Eight of Swords, where he has to deal with Earth. He has to deal with the slowness. He has to deal with the need for safety and security. He has to deal with the like stubbornness and the no, this is the way that it needs to be. No, you can't go as fast as you want to go here. He has to deal with persistency and patience. And that can sometimes feel binding. Here's this Eight of Swords. As you know, it can sometimes feel like I've got these kind of chains around me that I can't break through or are inhibiting me from just blowing out. Like, okay, boom, I know what I want because here I just got through Aries. I know what my passions are. I know what my dreams are. I know what vision I had in Aries, what I wanted to take forward. And now I have to be captivated in a persistent and patient manner, which isn't bad. This Eight of Swords isn't bad. This could be very healthy. This can be something that you actually want to bring down, going internal, knowing that you have everything you need to be safe, knowing that you know the right way to go forward, knowing that this is just a moment in time that, hey, I get it. I'm bound right now, but there's purpose for that. There's purpose for the ability for Mars to get that persistency, get that patience in line, be able to work through, especially as he comes up to his conjunction with Uranus, and really temper that need to be speeding around, going fast. There's a place for that, but there's also a place for Taurus's very methodical nature. So when I was writing this out, I was thinking a lot about acquisitions. And I think Mars and Taurus is a really wonderful placement for acquisitions and thinking about how we acquire things. The Star, Eight of Wands, the Fool, and the Knight of Cups. All right. So, this thought of acquisition, and I love this placement and I love that this came together. So, acquisitions, think about acquisitions in the Taurian themes, right? You have the acquisition of precious metals, you have the acquisition of, let's see, what else do we have here? Gold, jewelry, you have the acquisition of art. I mean, even in this Eight of Swords, this can be looked at as art, right? You have the acquisition of land, and you have the acquisition of ideas and dreams that you're working to bring forward. Here comes back the Star. So as Mars went through Aries, there was something that opened up, a new this whole other universe opened up for you where I can, I can dream this big. I can take the water and turn it into wine. I can take this water and harvest and bless the ground that I'm walking on. I can take these ideas and bring them into the earthly realm. I can harmonize and I'm going back to the magician here and alchemize the things that I want. So now it's like, all right, maybe you've never dreamed of acquiring things like this before. Maybe, fine jewelry, gold, land, precious metals. Like maybe this is all things that are very new, but you got this idea when Mars was in Aries, and it was like, this is feeling right for me. My intuition is telling me that this is it. Okay. Well, now you're making all of these plans to go and acquire all of these things, and you want it fast, you want it now because Mars is in Aries. Well, hold on a second. Hold my fucking knapsack, says the fool. You can go down this journey. That's totally fine. We're going to dive into the deep end. We're going to dive into doing the things that we want to do. We're going to dive into all of these Eight of Wands ideas and this star, this diversification that you're looking into. But damn it, this Knight of Cups, we're doing it slow and steady. We're doing it right. We're doing it with feeling. We're doing it with passion. And when you think about acquisitions, acquisitions take time. Typically, you really truly don't just go out and buy. Maybe if you're trading gold on the stock market, anything precious metals on the stock market, maybe, but typically there is an ingrained process already occurring. Let's talk about jewelry. You go into a jewelry, first of all, you may even look for the jewelry store in your area that you want to do business with. Maybe there are concerns that you have about where they get their precious metals, precious gems from, and you want to make sure you have an artistic, this Eight of Swords, you have an artistic idea of the jewelry piece that you want, and not just anybody can do that. You want to make sure that the person who's helping you design it is right, etc. That all takes time. It takes research, energy, and time. So then you finally get kind of what you're looking for. I mean, shit, this is even just like going and getting a tattoo. Quite frankly, acquisition of a new tattoo. That might be something there. But then you go and you have a consultation, you have a meeting, you look around the jewelry store, you look around the tattoo shop, you meet the individual in person, you begin to lay out your ideas, you begin to come together and talk about things. And you investigate more, you kind of tweak some things here and there, you go back to the fool, you go back to the drawing board. Maybe they brought something in that you didn't think about before, and you're like, ooh, wait a minute, hold on a second, I really love that idea. And then it's all about the price. So now you sit here and you agree on a price, and then it has to be delivered, and there might be paperwork in the, buying land, getting a tattoo. There might be paperwork that you're required to sign. There might be times and space between when you actually settle on a price and agree to buy and when that item is delivered to you, whatever you're working on, whatever acquisition you have is delivered to you. Mars wants it to go like this. Mars doesn't want to wait for a month, 30 days before you can sign the loan and you can sign all the paperwork for this land. It's like, man, just wanted to go and get it. So the process, this Knight of Cups might be a little bit more challenging for Mars, but it's sitting within this Fool where, and really truly the star too, but it's sitting within this Fool where Mars's magic happens, keeping the eye on the horizon, keeping the eye on the prize, enjoying the journey. Go down and have it with, this is where Mars can take a lot of that fire energy, especially around the realms of Leo, where you can look at things with childlike wonder. You can look at things with, oh, a passion and a thirst for knowledge. Allow them to teach you things. Go through, ask questions. All of this is going to really help Mars as he drudges through Taurus. You have to make it interesting. It can't just be this. It can't just be this. It's got to be more this. It's got to be more this. There's got to be more to it than that. Now, Mars, absolutely, and there are individuals out there that are just like, I see it, I want it, I like it, I buy it. I don't need to haggle, I don't need to talk with anybody. I know exactly what I want. Can you bring that acquisition to me or not? Yes or no? Yes, I can. Great. Here's the money, off I go. I don't have time to be bothered with all of that. That is totally fine. That is totally fine. But when we talk about acquisitions, and I have during this whole conversation, these are large acquisitions. Not all of us are going to have the means to be able to do something like that. So, if that is you and you can point to this beautiful artwork of this Eight of Swords and like, I already know I want it. Here's my credit card. Here's my bank account routing and account number. Thank you very much. I'm done. Great. That's awesome. Although now it's going to be the process. Let's say that art resides in France. How are you going to get it to the United States? That is also going to be a process. So no matter, I really feel no matter which way it is, there is going to be some sort of acquisition happening and some sort of process that you're really going to have to temper this Mars energy um, that just wants to get it done quickly. And again, it's with the Fool. Stay magical, stay in the curiosity, stay in the wonder, and it's going to do wonders as Mars is working his way through Taurus. So the other piece is learning how to share and work on stuff. Look, learning how to share. Let's just stop there first. Learning how to share is a whole thing with Mars and Taurus natives. Having the ability to not hoard, having the ability to give to others and share with others, allow others to enjoy with you. And then also working on stubbornness and jealousy. Those are three really very big things that Mars and Taurus natives, especially if there's some more challenging placements. We do have Uranus here. So you may have to share, you may be forced to share, you may be forced to confront, especially as we know Chiron is doing his thing in Aries. You may be forced to confront areas of stubbornness, areas of jealousy, how those emotions show up, how you project those emotions, where maybe some of those emotions come from and how you're working in more in that shadow work side with it. So it can be a really healthy time to notice those things and begin to work on those things for yourself. It's got a very much if this is where this is paying up for you, this sharing stubbornness and jealousy, that reminds me a lot of the Five of Pentacles, that energy of like looking at what you don't have, looking, and that can keep that hoarding energy in. It can keep the need to keep things close to the chest because you don't have enough. I never have enough. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm not intelligent enough to do this, to, expand out. I can't share what I have because then that leaves nothing left for me. These are all things that I was very programmed with as a child. So I'm definitely speaking from experience here that, well, they borrowed it, they need to bring it back. They need to give it back now because it needs to be in my possession and nobody else can do that. That's a program that's running. So looking at what you don't have. So, if that's kind of that's that Five of Pentacle energies, and instead look at what you can accomplish, right? Here is look at what you can accomplish here. You can accomplish things. You can accomplish acquisitions. Maybe you look at buying art and you donate it, or you donate it for a portion of time or to a museum that somebody else gets to enjoy it with. That act of sharing, the act of kind of releasing that energy. So not so much focused on what you don't have. Look at what you can accomplish. All right. Now we are headed over to the June overview, and man, does June get busy. I'm going to put us back on this start screen because, yep, that we got the messages we need. All right, June gets busy. We start to break away from our clusters in June, although we've got to get through Gemini season first. That Gemini energy is quite robust at the start of June. And as June goes along, we kind of move through that and we find some finally breathing room. We find a little bit of flow. We find this like ability. Two of Cups, we find the ability to move, to exchange, to breathe, to spread, to just like bring forth something amazing. And I'm really feeling this towards that middle of June area where we get through that Gemini new moon, which we're going to talk about here in a second, but really bring in um from all of the conversations we're about ready to have, from all of this Gemini energy that we are going to be going through, it's, the month really does start off with trines and sextiles, which is a lot of this harmonious energy right here. It's a lot of conversation, it's a lot of thought process, it's a lot of coming together, meeting of the minds, kind of like a brainstorming session this first part of June. And then we get into the middle of the month. And the middle of the month is littered with squares and conjunctions. So we have this kind of harmonious start. Still a lot of energy in Gemini. So not maybe too much flow. Ace of Cups, maybe too much flow, a little overflow. Where, we kind of maybe want some of those squares and conjunctions. We want to temper the energy a little bit. We want to, yes, our cup is overflowing, but Lord, it shouldn't be like, spilling. I mean, this to me, this Ace of Cups in this middle of the month and all of that Gemini energy is very much like, there's so many holes in this cup. There's five here, right? These five spout outs here, but man, it's like not only overflowing in these spout outs, but then there's like it's draining from the bottom. The cup maybe isn't as container isn't as structurally sound as we may want it to be, and we're just kind of all over the place. We are just overflowing right now. Um so those squares and conjunctions, I think, are going to come in and really suit us well, to have some of those more challenging conversations, be able to temper our energy a little bit, be able to um, stop and smell the roses, the Six of Cups. Look at all this cups energy out here. Like we haven't even gotten into Cancer season yet, talking about Cancer season. But be able to stop and smell the roses, stop and take stock of what we've brought in up to this point. We are kind of at that halfway point in the year. So what has occurred? What harvest have you brought in? What goals have you achieved? And really thinking about that and being very mindful of that, being very celebratory of that. You look here, we have the Two of Cups, even with this Ace of Cups and the Six of Cups. This is all energy where you have other people involved. It's very social energy. Cups are a lot about feelings for sure, how you're feeling about things, but these are very social cards. You're getting insight with this Ace of Cups from on high. So maybe the ancestors are chitting and chatting, and you're having like these amazing dreams, powerful intuitive hits, things are coming in that are synchronistically just working out for you. You have this energy with the Two of Cups, this harmony, this, chit chatting with other people, getting other ideas, sharing of items, sharing of um, thought processes, and just that energy that can flow between and create projects and do all of these fun things. And then you have down here this six, again, another social card, sharing out with the world what you are doing, inviting other people to join you, selling your wares, selling what you've harvested up to this point. So it's a very social month. And then at the end, we end with more trines and sextiles, but now we're in Cancer season. We're no longer in Gemini season. We've got a lot of the energy that's moved into Cancer by the end of the month when these trines and sextiles happen. So now it's more about bringing it home. Let's see what comes out. Eight of Wands, taking the energy that got cultivated up in that front, taking all of these ideas, taking all of this socialized energy, and then actually doing something with it as we get into Cancer season, as we get into Letha, the summer solstice, another changing of the guard, another changing of the energy. So this is where really we are committed to broadening our horizons. We are committed to that quarter two vision because June is the end of the quarter. We will transition that energy. So we are committed to broadening our horizons. So from a lunation standpoint, we have the Gemini new moon happening on 6/6 at 16 degrees, 18 arc minutes. We have the Capricorn full moon on 6/21 at 1 degrees, 7 arc minutes, Page of Cups. We're going to talk about the Gemini moon. The Capricorn full moon is going to be very interesting. We actually have a blue moon coming up in July. And what that means is we will have two full moons in Capricorn. So when we get closer to in June with another Twitchy Tuesday episode, we'll absolutely take a look at that Capricorn full moon and the second one and how they tie together. But here, this is some fresh, exciting energy and more cups on the table. More cups on the table, fresh, exciting new things coming in. Our stations, so we've got Saturn stationing retrograde at 19 degrees, 26 arc minutes of, of Pisces on 6/29. Look at what comes out. The more cups, 5 of cups, reflective time period. It is Saturn stationing retrograde, not only in a water sign. We've got all of this in what? That's the 29th. So that's after we are in Cancer. A very reflective, could potentially be a very emotional with all the cups here, very emotional time frame where, you know, a lot of things can be, especially in that Pisces area of your chart, a lot of things can be reflected on. A lot of movements, a lot of this. There could be some second guessing, some questioning. And again, Pisces energy is that 12th house energy. It's not very revealing. It's not very like there's a thin layer over it. Now, I've always felt Pisces energy works very well. Neptune works very well when it's in retrograde because I feel like some of those waters parts, the sun shines into the muck, and you get a little bit more clarity and a little bit more vision. But it depends upon where this, what this journey has been like with Saturn in Pisces for you, where that hits in your chart. This could be a time where it's just, man, did I do that right? Did I make the right decisions? Did, just kind of questioning where you're at, the things that you're doing. And again, all on purpose, all for purpose. Then our ingresses. So we've got a lot of things moving in June. June 3rd, Mercury in Gemini. June 8th, Mars in Taurus. June 17th, Mercury and Venus head into Cancer pretty much together. We're going to do a whole episode on that, I think, in two Twitchy Tuesdays. I think it's episode 68, where we're going to do an entire journey with Venus and Mercury heading into Cancer and their conjunction right before they get there. Oh my God, more cups, 10 of cups. Vesta heads into Leo on 619, and voila, 620 is Cancer season. This is the summer solstice, the celebration of Letha. I mean, this is just happy go lucky time. It is summertime. It's time to embrace like just the oh, this is the 9 of cups. I was like full on with the 10 of cups here. Still, same thing. Like this is the time to embrace all of the energy. It's look, the page has the other cup here. We're good. We've got 10 here. Um, perspective, changing of the way that you're maneuvering, how you're looking at things, changing of, it's like if you haven't yet, and typically it's always spring cleaning, but man, if you haven't yet, like freshen things, get new colors in. Um, like I'm looking at my cup. We just bought a cup. Look at how lovely and sunny this is. It brings out it brings out the energy of the season, allowing this to be in my home, allowing to see like these amazing colors and all of the things that you've got and how you decorate and how you feel when you're in your space. Um, focusing on creating a space you don't want to leave from. Maybe you are in with this 5, maybe you are right now in a position where you know what, the summer you are going to be chillaxing. You are going to not be taking a bunch of um big adventures, big travel plans. You're like, no, I've got to put that off to the side. I'm focused. I'm really, whatever this 8 of Wands is, I'm really into what I'm doing and I need to buckle down. That can come later. That can come in the fall. That can come in the winter time. So you need to have a space. You need to have a place where you are that you just love being in. You don't need a vacation from. You don't need to get away from or consistently feel like there's something that's just the energy's just not right here. Whoa. Cultivate it. Cultivate it. Oh man, all right, hold on, we got a card down. See if I can get this card. Eek. Come here. Oh, hold on. Got it, nailed it. The Fool coming back out again. All right. So, I mean, new adventures await. Keep that fresh summertime loving energy abound. All right. That is, I think, all we have. Yeah. The June ends. The last ingress is the sun headed into Cancer. So that is a high level overview of what we have in June. We are going to head over now to this Gemini new moon happening on, there we go, happening on 6/6 at 7:37 a.m. Central Time. Let me get our moon up here. Let me get my pens ready. Ooh, Gemini, we need this crystal blue right here. All right, this is the section that we want to look at because this is where all of the energy is clustered together. Again, one of our last clusters that we are getting into is in this Gemini realm. And look at this stacked Gemini energy. We have Jupiter, which is right here at 2 degrees. We have Mercury at 6 degrees. Here is the moon, 16 degrees, 17 arc minutes, 18 arc minutes. That's right around the range that you want to look for. The sun and the moon being conjunct means that it is a new moon. And look at this, 16 degrees, 48 arc minutes, in exact conjunction with Venus. Exact conjunction with Venus. That is amazing. All of this Gemini energy, all of this Gemini energy is what we are going to be dealing with at the very beginning of June. Fast, quick movement. Where are we thinking? What are we doing? What are we opening up? Not only does this moon conjunct Venus, but you also see this very like 2-degree off square with Saturn, which is right up here at 18 degrees, 58 arc minutes of Pisces. You can see Mars is just breaking away from his conjunction with Chiron up here. And what else do we have? There is also a sextile happening to the north node in Aries at 12 degrees. Now, this is a little bit farther. The north node is at 12, the moon and the sun are at 16. So, a little bit of a wider orb, but again, there's a lot of energy that's still occurring in Aries as Mars is making his way through there. There's still things that are pinging up from our great Chiron eclipse. We're not going to get away from that energy anytime soon. And there's still things like whatever that great Chiron eclipse, as we continue to go along, it's this extended cycle and story that we're coming through. So when I was feeling into this moon, I got the word oof. That is all I could hear in my head was oof. I'm like, okay, that's gonna be the word of the moon, I guess. Oof. All right, well, let me look into this. So I popped oof, which is 3 O's and 4 F's, by the way, if you'd like to know. I popped that into Google just to see what popped up. And lo and behold, Urban Dictionary for the win, in true Gemini fashion, has the most amazing dualistic uh, definition of ooh. These cards, look, the ancestors are speaking. They are coming through clear. We had the Fool. We've got a 4 of Swords coming out again. Here's the oof. Let's get one more because we're going to dive into what Urban Dictionary said about oof. All right. I'll put these over. We also had the Queen of Swords come out, the 3 of Cups, the Queen of Cups. Ah, that 5 of Pentacles I was talking about. All right. So let me put these down. Let's see what we got. Okay, oof. Good oof. That is exactly what it said. Good oof. When a woman is so fine that you can't get anything out of your mouth. Oof. I'll take that. Look, we've got Venus right here, just cozy AF, right up to the sun and the moon, bringing in that great feminine energy, the great feminine insight, the intuition that is needed during a new moon. I mean, this new moon, it embodies Venus fully because that is the womb. It is the thing that Venus is the most representative of along. I mean, you see them here. You've got all of these goddess asteroids bringing in that crone perspective, but truly Venus is the one that has that, maiden and mothering sort of energy right now to her, especially after she got through Taurus, being incredibly fertilized in her home sign of Taurus. Here we are with her bringing in this energy and action and ability to place a lot of these very um fine qualities onto whatever this conversation of oof means to you. We also have the representative with 2 queens here. Here we have the Queen of Cups. We also have the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords, Venus in Gemini right away. Here we have that feminine principle. We have the sovereign principle. But it's cutting. It's clear. This conjunction, yes, it's a new moon, but it doesn't feel like there's darkness in this new moon. It doesn't, like, this to me feels so, then here comes this Queen of Cups. This to me feels so, whatever you are getting pinged on, whatever intuitive energy you are getting during this new moon, it is so clear and understanding. You don't have any other questions. In fact, there are no questions that are needed. I know, and nobody is swaying me from that. I know, and nobody is going to come anywhere. And it is fine. It's fine. It's like I'm at a loss for words at how amazing everything is going, at how amazing this was so clear to me, the direction that we're going. I'm like flabbergasted that all I can say is, oh, oh, okay then. Sure. All right, here we go. So that's our queen energy. This is where Venus is coming in from. Then we have the bad oof. Seriously, this is what it said. Good oof and bad oof. The bad oof. Four of Swords, Five of Pentacles. A reaction to anything that makes you feel true, utter disgust. Oof. What is that? What is your Five of Pentacles right now? What is your Four of Swords right now? What are the things that you are struggling with? This is, look, you have the Queen of Swords here. You have Venus here. It is okay. It is absolutely okay in the midst of everything amazing to still need to work on things. It's okay to still fail. It's okay to not like what you did. Here is, look, you have a square to Saturn in Pisces. It's okay if you had a reaction that you're like, I'm disappointed in myself. I'm disappointed in the way that I handled that. I know better. I can do better. Let me make those changes so I do better. That's completely okay. It's this, if this ain't Gemini in a fucking nutshell, I don't know what is. Both of these things can exist at the same time. You can be rocking in the free world and also having an existential crisis. It's how you balance these energies. It's how Three of Cups. It's how you truly look how everything is going. It's how you celebrate. It's how you, I mean, failure should be a celebration. Failure should be, I learned something. Doesn't mean you don't go through the disgust. Doesn't mean you don't go through the questioning. But as you begin to walk away from that failure, you can go, you know what? This is going to serve me so well. You know what? No, I totally fucked up. I totally didn't do that correctly. It's okay though. It's totally okay because I know I'm coming out of this better. I know I've learned something. I know I've changed something. I know, again, that's all Saturn is asking radical responsibility, taking accountability for the things, making sure like this is totally what they're showing me right now, like this hashtag win, right? Like this little W here, but it's like being in a grocery store parking lot. And for all of y'all that live in Texas, you already know HEB is where to go. So you're in your HEB, parking lot, you've got your cart and there's a cart that's just randomly sitting out there next to, like close to your car, close enough you can go get it. What do you do in that situation? That's what Saturn is asking. That's what this square to Saturn is. Like, are you so in your head and so focused and so movement forward, so much in this energy or this energy that you aren't stopping to take a look at what's around you? You aren't stopping to like see, hey, is there a way? Again, going back to that Mars in Taurus conversation, hey, is there a way that I can because where is he? This is on the 6th, so he gets in on the 8th. So we're getting there, but you can't even stop to take a look around and go, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and, support somebody else. Let me go ahead and help. Dude, do you know how fucking sucky? Like, actually put yourself in that position. It is fucking hot. And here you are. Yes, it's a job. Yes, you signed up for it. Doesn't mean that it doesn't suck when you have to go out in 122 degrees. you might like the paycheck, still sucks going out and collecting fucking carts. So you know what? If I'm here, I just got out of the air condition. I'm about ready to go back into my air conditioned car, back to my air conditioned house, and I'm not working, and I can take a cart that's close to me and put it back where it needs to be for you. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Not only that, and it's not just about the workers either. I like leaving things better than I found them. That's just a me thing. I think about those things. Like that is a legitimate conversation that goes through my head of, you know what? I want this parking lot to look nice. I don't want a cart to get burst of wind and head into somebody else's car and scratch their car. I don't want somebody to have to file a claim because they backed up into a cart that I just randomly left somewhere. Ooh, we're going all down this cart scenario. So reeling that back, this is, this is really, this oof is all about this Gemini energy. It's all, I mean, this whole moon is all concentrated there. It's what this moon is about. How do you regulate the Gemini energy? How do you use Gemini energy to apply the Saturn and Pisces story? How do you see your spiritual maturity coming? That's that square to Saturn and Pisces. The work that you're doing in this area of your chart, wherever you see this Gemini symbol, wherever, whatever house that resides in for you, how are you working with this energy? And all of this, no matter what, all of this with this very beautiful, albeit a little off sextile to this Aries energy, is pushing you towards purpose. It's pushing you towards authenticity. It's pushing you towards claiming of some sort. There's this very, not just the oof, right? But claiming your experience, claiming that this is okay to reside together, claiming that you're human, claiming that you want a little bit of celebration in your life, claiming that you want people to work with, or claiming that you want a congruent flow of ideas, claiming that you want the spiritual maturity that you're working for, claiming that, just even claiming it from that perspective that I no longer want, I have. I need to stop fighting with myself. I don't know why I'm fighting with myself about it. I've got it. Look, this trine right here, or this square right here, 18 degrees. That's past halfway. We did not come this far to only get this far. No, we're going to keep trucking. Saturn's going to keep moving this way. There's going to be things that continue to happen. So, how are you thinking and how are you processing and how are you working with it? Ooh, that is your Gemini new moon. All right. So that this point in the episode where I ask you that if you're finding value in this information here today, to hit that thumbs up or heart, subscribe, follow, and explore all of our other content, whether that's on X or on YouTube. So here we are at the end, my friends. We have got our Twitchy tip of the week, and I end each episode with a random, completely intuitive, and you can see in our Zodiac Spotlight earlier, um, we had a little preview of what the Twitchy tip of the week was going to be about. Coming back to this conjunction with Mercury and Uranus, because that is the prominent energy before Mercury heads into Gemini of this Twitchy week for this episode 66. So, Mercury and Uranus on 531 is saying something about our experiences we have been having, our experiences through the Aries Taurus season, our experience of Uranus in um, Taurus, our experience of Uranus about ready to conjunct Algol, our experience of all of this like bright, very it's not even grounded. It's just bright. Like that's the only thing that I'm this like bright energy that Uranus has placed in Taurus and the movement that Uranus has provided in vital Taurian themes in our life, in the collective experience. So it's really something, this Mercury and Uranus is like, there's something to be said here. There's something that needs to come out in personally or your view, but surprise yourself with this conversation. Surprise. This is a great moment where embrace the surprise. With Uranus and with working with Uranus, if you are not excited by surprises, that is absolutely great work that you can do. You may never be fully comfortable with surprises, but you can work on it. And Uranus is all about the surprises, and he's going to continue to have very massive conversations, very massive surprises through the rest of this decade for sure. And then obviously beyond, because this is the way that it works. But working on surprise is a wonderful, I love surprises. I was never the kid that wanted to like, did I do it? Yes, because everybody else was doing it, and that's my programming as a child, but I never wanted to like shake my presence. I loved being surprised. I embrace the surprise. It has helped me with change. Doesn't mean that I don't get caught up in change. Doesn't mean that it doesn't get uncomfortable. Doesn't mean that like, oh shit, that was a surprise I wasn't ready for. Okay, here we go. Um, doesn't mean those things don't happen, but definitely able to move through it in, for me, in a much better manner. So work on being surprised. Surprise yourself with your conversations you're having with yourself. These are going to be unexpected conversations, unexpected ideas coming in, unexpected um things, meeting of the minds, thought processes, situation, short term travel, even from a sibling perspective, that will have the ability to open up possibilities that you have never considered before or never thought was possible for you. Kind of going back to that acquisition conversation. Maybe you didn't realize you could go after those things. Now you can surprise yourself with your conversations. Um, it is possible. It's the great thing. Just know with Uranus that you need to hold the fuck on. This is Uranus. We need to hold the fuck on. It's a lot about adaptation, molding, pivoting. Pivot, great word. We spent all of 2023 in pivot. So we should hopefully have that a little bit down, but nervous system regulation as well. Mercury, yep, Uranus will kind of do that shock. Nervous system gets all out of whack, and then Mercury heads into Gemini, and our nervous system has no hope. So, nervous system regulation during this time. Breathe. Breaths where you release longer than you inhale can be that simple. Breathing in for 5, exhaling for 7. Breathing in for 3, exhaling for 6. Anything that your breath is released longer than you inhale will help that nervous system regulation. There's a million things. I'm a great fan of yin yoga. I think that's awesome to help kind of regulate meditation. But if you need something, you're at a desk, you're in a meeting, and this Uranus and Mercury conjunction has this massive surprise, you can do this inhale, exhale technique with everybody watching you on Zoom. No worries. And nobody will know. You just begin to regulate your nervous system. All right, that is where we are at. That ends it for me today. May your days be filled with enchantment, your nights be guided by the stars, and your spirit forever be in tune with the cosmic dance. Keep those third eyes open, my fellow Twitchy seekers. Until next time, blessed be and stay twitchy. Bye, everyone.
cosmic dance, where stars align, Milani guides us through signs divine, astrology secrets in the night sky, revealed in her sessions where mysteries lie.